Well, yeah, certainly. I mean, it was our fault. We made a mistake. Spotter said it was clear. It wasn't clear, and, I didn't want to tear my car up, tear his car up either. I respect everybody, and I demand respect. And, I apologized to the guy when he came over the car, explained to him what happened, and then he took it to another level when he started calling me an idiot and whatever else. And I don't appreciate that. I'm not going to take it. I told him how I felt. I called him out. He didn't show. And so, I'm good with it if he's good with it, but I'm not going to be disrespected by no means.
Yeah, I guess I had a dinner date at Applebee's last night that I didn't find out until it was too late. It's a shame. Love their riblets and boneless wings, but...
All right, folks. Welcome back to Meet Me at Applebees, your number one unrefined motorsports podcast. It's Brian here with Rob and Ashley, and... let's see, we got the Chili Bowl, Rob's big Chili Bowl review, and catching up on news and notes from the last few weeks, and previewing Bowman Gray next week if it happens with the fun weather we got coming up. So,
I'd say that's a big if.
So, folks, how we doing?
I'm doing pretty good, guys. Like Brian said, I was at the Chili Bowl. We'll talk about that in a little bit. I did not catch the flu this year by some fucking miracle, but I feel like that has something to do with the way my weekend played out. But again, that's for later in the show. How you doing, True Love? You ready for the ice storm that's coming your way?
I mean, I'm as ready as I'm gonna be.
You got 45 gallons of milk just lined up out on the porch right now, ready to rip?
Yep. Have a milk chugging challenge.
Yeah, the Christian Youth Group milk chug, excuse me.
Oh, cool, Christian. Listen, we've all done this. We've all tried this. It's not just... Wait, you guys haven't done the milk challenge? You didn't ever try the milk challenge when you were a stupid
I'll
teenager?
say this. Maybe I'll even pull a clip from it for the podcast or the Instagram post. But there is a video of me, my buddy Greg, my old bandmate Greg from my Screamo days. Doing this challenge where we would take shots of whiskey and chug milk, and
that's not at all the challenge I was talking about.
It's not. No, it isn't. But it does involve milk, and ever since then I've been pretty much a non-dairy guy aside from cheese. But yeah,
that'll do it. I feel like. So.
Yeah, it's bad. You get to see me with a little short haircut and no beard and about 60 pounds lighter. So maybe I will pull that, and you guys can watch me throw up on the internet.
I think any kind of chugging challenge is strictly a dude thing.
Yeah,
there's no chick chugs out there.
That's very fair. I have watched my fair share of chugging videos on the internet, and I've never seen a woman doing one. So that is a very good point.
They just don't put it on the internet. That's all. I've seen women chug before. I've seen True Love chug with me. But that's
not milk.
Not milk. Shit.
All right. Well, I don't really know how to properly transition out of that part of the conversation.
Straight into the saddest fucking news you ever heard. Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck. I guess. Yeah. I mean, we're starting off news and notes here, and we'll get all the sad stuff out of the way because there was a little bit more sadness since the last time we spoke. Obviously, after celebrating his victory in the lawsuit, the Hamlin family, Denny Hamlin, and the rest of his family, unfortunately underwent more tragedy with fire breaking out at Denny's parents' house, and this ended the life of his father and also put his mother in the hospital, who seems to be recovering now, which is good to hear. But obviously an incredibly sad thing to hear, especially with the year Denny Hamlin had. And, we all knew his dad was in failing health as it was, but this is what pushed him over the edge. And I'm assuming you guys all saw that little 2-minute video that Bob Pockers did with him that was on social media yesterday. Yeah. But very, very you can very much tell that Denny has really been going through it, because there's very little life in his eyes in that video, unfortunately.
I mean, it's one thing to know that sort of thing is coming, but it's another to have it happen in the fashion that it did. For an expected death to arrive in such an unexpected fashion, I can't even imagine what that's like. And again, I'm probably at the bottom of the Denny Hamlin fan list, but yeah, I would never wish that sort of thing on anyone. So yeah, that's fucking awful.
Yeah. And for it to happen on their 52nd wedding anniversary too, on top of everything.
Yeah, awful
but I
shit.
did see photos of her at their daughter's birthday the other day, and she looked good. So
that's good.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good to hear.
Let's see, we had the memorial service, the public memorial service for Greg Biffle, which seemed to be a pretty fun celebration.
Bitchin' funeral, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, which we all kind of figured. I mean, as sad as the situation was, Biffle did not seem like the type of guy that would want like a mournful celebration. And we had obviously Cletus came out with his 57, I think it's a 57 Chevy limo, and proceeded to blow the motor up, doing a
sprayed engine parts and rubber all over the downtown.
Yeah.
That was killer.
Well, yeah, earlier in the day too, they had a service at the Bojangles Coliseum and had some people come up and speak. So they had like Jeff Burton and Biffle's niece, and Cletus came up there and gave a very touching and funny tribute to his friend. So
yeah.
Unfortunately, though, the Biffle sadness doesn't end because it was reported that somebody broke into his house and stole $30,000. Yeah, somebody stole about $30,000. There was definitely some internet sleuths believing that it was his ex-wife that did this, trying to piece things together. Who knows?
I don't know if you can say that definitively. That's a little bit outside of the depth we're willing to go. We're trying to avoid lawsuits on this show.
Allegedly. Listen, I didn't say that. But I'm saying people on the internet said that.
I will say this, though. If it was her, this would be the second time that same camera system has busted her. So
yes, very much true.
Didn't learn the first time. Didn't take him out after that. So if that is the case, some people never learn.
Yeah. But with that, I think we got.
Can we smile again, Brian?
Yes. Now let's get on to the stuff we can be happy and angry about positively. Because there'll be a little bit of anger in there.
Happy about this.
So the Daytona 500. Hell yeah, I guess, campaign started with a nice AI-generated video that looks like dog shit that nobody liked. And then,
Well, we also had another ad with Zane Smith in a bar and Cletus doing a bunch of promos, too, saying hell yeah and brother like 18 times.
Yeah. I thankfully, I saw this. I got halfway through the Zane Smith one until I was like, this fucking sucks. And I did not see the Cletus one, thankfully, because that would have just pissed me off.
I don't remember if we talked about the Zane Smith one before we shut down last year, because I know we did, and I don't know when that came out. I can't remember.
I think it might have dropped right after we last recorded.
But I will say that it was very awesome to watch a commercial where my experience trying to get NASCAR turned on in a bar was portrayed in a national ad, because no one in that bar seemed to give a fuck about whatever the jack fuck yelling about it was in that commercial.
Yeah.
No one cared. It was like him screaming at the masses, "Don't you see how good this is?" And everyone's just kind of waiting for their mozzarella sticks to arrive, and no one gives a shit, which is exactly my experience in a New England bar when it comes to NASCAR. So not the intended effect, I don't think, but it is very realistic. So good for them.
Also, no one recognized Zane Smith. So.
I wouldn't either.
Hey, listen, I'll tell you that I've had that experience in a bar 40 minutes from Daytona, so don't feel too bad.
It happens everywhere. But
it's common occurrence. But yeah, and then I didn't see. I will admit I did not see the IndyCar ad with raw meat. So somebody will have to.
I sent it to the group chat, and you reacted at it. So
maybe I watched 5 seconds of it. I don't know. I don't remember. Listen, there's a lot of things.
Do you know how much weed I smoke?
Do you know how much weed I smoke? My brain is not always.
Well, True Love, tell Brian about it and see if he's still laughing.
Remind me.
It's just a ad of Joseph Newgarden in a backyard cookout handling a bunch of raw meat. So they go from the milk bath to the
from the
raw meat.
Milk gimp to the meat man. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it did not help me like Joseph Newgarden more, I'll tell you that. But yeah, everyone, lots of swings and misses on the ad side of things. But I guess I'm not the people they're trying to sell it to. And I've learned over the past couple years that my finger is just not on the pulse of the society. So it's clearly not for me. But they're trying.
moving on here. So we all figured there'd be some sort of scapegoat on NASCAR side of things when it came to the outcome of the big lawsuit in December. But that scapegoat was Steve Phelps, as I think many people predicted, especially with all the Childress backlash. And I don't totally know how to feel. Like it's probably for the best. Like, wasn't really a fan of his. I think probably the positive thing I can say about him is he did a really good job of getting the sport back on track during COVID. I think that was a really positive thing. And there's other positive contributions he had, but I think in the long run, I don't know if he necessarily was the best person to be representing the sport at the level he was at, but we won't have to worry about it anymore. So goodbye, Steve Phelps.
Yeah, like you said, I don't think anyone's surprised that he was the fall guy. I feel like as soon as some of those texts started leaking, you knew that if it came to it, that heads were going to roll, and his would be the first on the chopping block. And sure enough, that's what came to fruition.
Was going to make sure.
Oh, you bet. Yeah. See how redneck we are now.
He's
still got a job.
He still ain't forgetting. He's been crowing about that to the media this week, and I don't know what other persecution he thinks is coming for him, but they got rid of him, so
yeah.
There you go, Pop.
But there are some big changes coming, that's for sure. And
yes.
You got to wonder if this is what we would have gotten otherwise, but I guess it's irrelevant to kind of wax and wane about that. But yeah, the chase is back, folks, or some version of it.
I wouldn't say it's the chase. If anything, it's just like
more drivers,
bullshit than
more
drivers and less bullshit.
Yeah.
It's actually Stacy asked me to explain the format to her the other day, and I was like, it's actually very simple compared to what we've had.
Yes,
just 16 drivers. There's no qualifications. Like I know in the last few iterations, they picked like the guy with the most wins outside the top 12 or whatever. It's none of that bullshit.
Exactly.
And I think that's why. Yes, it really doesn't make sense for them to have 16 drivers, but it makes it way more cut and dry that, like, if you're the guy, like, obviously Shane Van Gisbergen has been the example everybody wants to bring up that,
Well, he brought it up himself.
Yeah. If he can't make the top 16, and winning 4 or 5 races, if he pulls that off again this year, then that's kind of on him. And for whoever else, if somebody has a great season with a bunch of wins and then half wins, half DNFs, well, you didn't make it.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. So
yeah, I thought his comments were very candid, and I appreciated him saying it. And he's like, I think this is a better point system. It's way more pure, but it's also the reason I got a job in NASCAR, the original playoff system. And I'm going to have to get better, which is definitely the truth. But he is. So I think that if he can still pull off at least 2 or 3 wins a year and stay in the top 20, then he should be more than fine in that. Also, a big piece of this is that wins are getting awarded more points now, which I think is a change that's needed to have been made for a long time.
And it was calculated that based on the new system, Shane would have made the top 16 anyways.
Yes.
Last year. So
you win 5 races, right?
Yeah. So the point's kind of moot there as far as people worrying about him or anybody else. So yeah, it to me, again, while we all wanted, or the majority of fans wanted, the 36 races, this is the absolute best compromise they could make. It really makes it very cut and dry, and it still will award the best actual driver throughout the entire season.
Yes, exactly.
So,
It's crazy how much of that press conference was spent talking about how much everyone wanted a full season and how everyone on that stage wanted a full season, but they're like, this is what you get.
Yeah. It is funny to me how all of us are generally excited about this. When I don't know about you guys, but I hated the idea of any sort of chase system when it first came out way back in the day. Not the playoffs, but the actual chase. Like, why the fuck are we doing this? There's no point to do this. And now that it's back, it's, I guess it's what happens when you get fed orange juice instead of water every day for 15 years, 20 years or whatever. And they finally switch back to something closer. I'm bad at my analogies. I'm drinking down here, so we're going to go ahead. But y'all know what I mean.
Orange juice and water, yep.
Something about milk. I don't know. Ask Joseph Newgarden.
Too much milk.
But yeah, I'm very excited about it. Obviously, I'm on the Team 36 races, but this is better than what we had. And as Brian already said, this is a much better system to choose a champion, I would say. And again, the extra points for the winners, I always felt that would solve the problem to begin with, and I'm glad to see they finally did that math and got it right. So I'm way more excited for Daytona now, and especially when somebody wins the Daytona 500, I don't have to hear somebody say, "Woo, we're going to Homestead," like, because no, you ain't, bitch. Yeah. No, you ain't Michael McDowell.
I also appreciate that for Cup, it's the last 10 races, but for Xfinity, it's only the last 9, and for Truck, only the last 7, so that they stay on the same schedule.
Yeah,
unlike with the playoffs, where it was all over the fucking place.
Yeah, it's a much smarter way to run the business, I think.
Yep. Yeah. Let's see. We are recording this on a rare Saturday because of the impending snowpocalypse that we're all going to be facing. Especially True Love is probably going to lose power in the next few hours.
Yeah,
so
they're going to be churning butter and living off hardtack for the next 2 weeks down there. So.
But I mentioned that because today, Saturday, the 24th, when we're recording this, the colleague Race for the Seat series is supposed to drop. I forget where. Oh, yeah, it's supposed to come out today.
Tomorrow at noon.
Tomorrow? Well, fuck you, tomorrow.
Just in time for the power to go.
This weekend. Yeah.
We'll try not to spoil it a second time for you, True Love.
I'm not going to watch this stupid fucking show.
Yeah, we all already know who wins, and we won't say the name just for the handful of people who will watch it. But not exactly an unexpected winner. Let's just say that.
I was definitely excited to see who was a part of it. Some great New England modified representation. Austin Beers is on the show. Mike Christopher Jr. is on there. Again, I pull for both of those guys weekly when I go to Stafford and Thompson and all those places. So it was cool to see them be a part of this. I don't think they win, but I know they don't win, but we'll talk about that once the show comes out.
Yep. Tomorrow, Sunday at noon on Fox, and then the rest of the episodes will be on Ram's YouTube. So quite the decline.
Yeah. Big sponsor news this week. McDonald's is leaving NASCAR again. Trying to think how many times they've come and gone. I think this is the 4th, maybe, time they've left NASCAR. But they're leaving NASCAR in general. Obviously includes 2311. But 2311 and NASCAR are getting sponsorship in the form of Hardee's now. They'll be on, I don't know if both 2311 cars or just Bubba, but I know they will be on those cars next year. And they are now the official, I think they termed it the quick service restaurant of NASCAR. Some more corporate acceptable term as opposed to fast food. Because that's all it is basically. But yeah, they are now the official fast food of NASCAR. Let's just say that.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it's just on Bubba. I also noticed that the Air Force was missing off Bubba's fire suit.
Yeah, Bubba's Air Force is also gone.
Monster was off of Reddick's fire suit.
Yeah, well, they got other things to spend their money on right now, it seems like. So.
I'm sure that all of the sponsors will get replaced by other people because they are one of the better teams in the sport and more marketable teams.
When was the last time that Hardee's or Carl's Jr. was on a car? Do you guys know? Because it's been a while. Obviously, we all remember Ward Burton back in the day, and then there was a little time past that, and of course, Days of Thunder, there was a big Hardee's.
I feel like in the 2000s, maybe they did a little bit of Busch Series sponsorship. That for some reason that's ringing out in my head, but don't quote me on that. But to me, I mean, I don't know what Hardee's is like in other parts of the country, but I think there might be like one within an hour of my house right now, and the other one,
Big South company.
Yeah. And they also own Carl's Jr., which is, the West Coast. Whatever, it's cool. I mean, I can't say I'm really a Hardee's fan the handful of times I've been there, but the fact they have a history with the sport and, it's another sponsor. Good for everybody involved, I guess,
Yeah, and this isn't...
gravy and biscuits.
Yeah, those are pretty good. I remember them being good when I was a kid anyway. And this isn't in our notes, but... the Darlington Throwback Weekend is no more. NASCAR is no longer going to be trying to force teams to do throwback schemes on that weekend. Ryan made a good point in private that maybe North Wilkesboro will be where you kind of see that stuff. But if we don't see some sort of Days of Thunder Hardee's scheme out of all this, I'd say that's a missed opportunity.
Well, speaking on the Darlington thing, it's not going to be requested of teams, but I know some teams are still going to do it. Like Tommy Joe Martin's already announced a Greg Biffle National Guard tribute for one of his cars. I think Brendan Poole's car for Darlington. So I'm sure there will still be some teams doing it, but I mean it has been on the decline, and it had been rumored since last March that was going to be the last year. So I can't say that was an unexpected announcement.
No,
But yeah, probably bring all that shit to Wilkesboro. More news. Hailie Deegan, fresh off her Indy NXT failure, is back in NASCAR. This time at the A level in ARCA.
Not even ARCA. She's just ARCA West. So the lowest of the low.
Yeah. I mean,
what a career.
She started near the top and she failed her way to the bottom, so there's nowhere else to go. So I don't know what anybody expected.
I always liked Hailie.
Why?
Well, I don't know. I just
her dad's.
I wanted her to succeed.
Her brother sucks.
Oh, her brother's an asshole. By the way, he just put quick time in qualifying for the 250s in Anaheim as we watch this. But I don't know. Anytime there's a promising woman coming up through the ranks, you want to see him do well, and she's got some money behind her and have Monster, and it's like, well, if this works, it'll be great. But unfortunately, it doesn't seem like that's the case, especially if you fall all the way back to the ARCA West series. So.
I hate to bring this up while we're talking about women in racing, but it was also announced this week that Tony Breidinger is moving from Tricon to Rackley War Racing. So she's moving from a championship-winning organization to one that has won one race. So
part-time as well.
Oh, is she? I didn't even see the part-time part.
I'm not a Tony fan, so.
I'm like you. I wanted to see her do well, even though she had a couple moments where I was like, oh, maybe there'll be something there. But clearly, did not have it.
Yeah.
So
you get a few top tens in ARCA, but remember, it's ARCA. That's not something to be excited about.
Yeah.
Oh well. Besides, Raising Cane's didn't bring any fucking chicken tenders to the track anyway, as far as I know. So,
Raising Cane's is very overrated. Very, very overrated.
Yeah, I agree.
Good sauce though.
That's all
sauce is great.
That's the only fucking sauce they have. You fucking sell chicken tenders and you only offer one sauce. Fuck off.
It's good sauce.
Okay, it's good.
It's great sauce.
Don't get me wrong.
Fries are good too.
Fries
but
were good.
You can get that type of sauce like pretty much any chicken finger place now. Even KFC has their own version.
Absolutely.
Anyways,
I'm just saying it's bullshit. They didn't bring free chicken to the racetrack for me.
That's fair. All right. Well, now that I got a little burst of anger out.
Now we're ripping. We're back, folks. By the way, thanks for coming back in 2026. We've missed talking to you guys, and it's good to be doing this.
This is season 4.
I know, it's fucking crazy.
It's crazy to think about that. Anyway, so I didn't watch it, but the NASCAR Hall of Fame awards happened last night. I know you didn't watch it, Rob. Did you watch it, True Love?
Now, how do you know I didn't watch that?
Because I know you too well.
Yeah, I didn't watch it. I do have a comment about this, but go ahead, True Love.
It was good. I mean, Harry Gant came out first because, he's 86 years old, so he's got a bedtime.
Yeah.
But his speech started off a little questionable, but by the end, he found his rhythm, and he still has a very sharp mind and memory, and did a fairly good job. They did show his wife on the screen at one point. She started closing her eyes, so they cut away from her pretty quick. But
well, he was on Junior's podcast within the last 2 years, and he sounded great. So that kind of makes sense that he still sounds good. So
yeah, I was happy to see him come in because it's important to honor these guys and give them this moment while they're still here.
100%.
Yeah.
So
handsome Harry Gant.
For Ray Hendrick, they had his son give a speech. And then Kurt Busch, his speech was great. It was very long, very thorough, very well done. So
the one complaint I saw about Kurt's not his speech, but the video they played for him, was that they kind of just jumped over the Phoenix racing years and the Furniture Row years a little bit, which I think is very important to remember, that without those two teams, his sort of return from exile would never have happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. He definitely mentioned them in his speech and how important they were.
Yeah.
I did like that before they brought him up on the stage, they were kind of giving his intro, and they referred to him as a spirited driver, and Kurt just made a face. Like, okay, if that's what you want to call it.
That's one way to put it.
So.
All right. And as we speak, before we're about to get into some Daytona 500 news, but the 24 hours Rolex 24 at Daytona is on television. Well, not on my television because I don't have Peacock, but I know Rob's got it on.
Yeah,
so.
I'm staring at it right now. Well, actually, I'm staring at a Michelin ad right now. But
I got an Advil cream ad.
a cream ad?
What kind
of cream?
Targeted relief for Advil. I don't know.
Let's get timing and scoring up. Let's see what's going on here. It doesn't matter because this podcast is going to come out.
Seems like there's been a lot of cautions.
There was a big wreck on lap 1. There was another wreck a couple laps later. But let's see here. Top of the board right now is the number 7 Porsche. And Acura has made their way up to second place with Alex Palou behind the wheel with 21 hours left. Again, it doesn't matter because this is not live. Who cares? You guys are going to know what the results are when this comes. Actually, that's not true. If you listen to this when it releases, because I'm just going to post this shit as soon as we're done, it'll still be sort of relevant information. But yeah, Porsche looks pretty strong right now.
If you're listening to a NASCAR podcast at 4 p.m. on a Saturday, I wonder what you're doing with your life.
Well, everyone's snowed in, so what else are they doing?
This could be our 79 Daytona 500. We could be up there with the download pretty soon after this.
NASCAR names, we've got Zilich and Allmendinger in this race, and then practically the entire IndyCar field. So
yeah, they're all out there. Joey Hand also, he's run some races for Rick Ware, but obviously sports car racing is his forte. Currently running 8th in the GTD division right now. So not great, but there's a lot of time left, folks. I love the 24 hours. I like to stay up as late as possible and watch the night stints. I think that shit is incredible. This race actually is on my bucket list. I'm not a big IMSA fan, but just sitting out at Daytona in the infield or up in the stands and watching the sun come up seems like something that a guy like me should probably do at some point in his life. If anybody wants to hang out with me at Daytona next year, holler at me. Let's do it.
A friend of the program, JD, is there spotting today, too.
That's right.
So.
Shout out JD.
I forgot to write down the team name, but...
My friend Phil is currently covering it for Front Stretch.
Excellent.
He goes every year, so...
Yeah, it's a killer event, man.
But yeah, speaking of Daytona, some Daytona Speed Week news. To be expected, Stuart Friesen announced he'll be back in the trucks next year at Daytona. I think we all kind of figured that was going to happen. I mean, he thankfully recovered from his injuries and thankfully didn't win Super Dirt last year. So, he'll be back in the truck. Good for him. Also back in a truck, obviously we all know Tony Stewart, but Travis Pastrana is going to be returning to Daytona again this year in a Nice truck, prepped by a good friend and former guest of the show, Kyle Ayala.
That's right.
As he is now working for Nice, and I believe he'll be in Daytona with the team and at all races. So look for him in the pits somewhere.
Yeah, I think we mentioned that on the last episode, but I know the three of us are all so proud of Kyle. His journey and him getting to that level and being able to walk into Daytona with that fucking patch on your arm is something else, man. So stoked for that, especially with Travis Pastrana up there. Hopefully he he keeps it cool in the draft. Put in some overtime.
Also announced for Daytona. So
Why does it sound like it hurts, Brian?
So RFK Racing announced that they have once again acquired the number 99 after Trackhouse abandoned it.
Great news.
which is great news for fans of Roush and just the history of the sport. They did so much with that car with both Jeff Burton and Carl Edwards, but unfortunately they are sullying the history by putting Corey LaJoie in the car at Daytona and really sullying the whole vibe of their team, because RFK has quickly over the last 2 years become my sentimental favorite as someone who's a fan of all three drivers, and what Brad's been able to do to the team and the marketing and everything.
Yeah.
Like RFK, I was really hoping they would have got a win last year, but it feels like it's coming, especially Ryan Preece. But yeah, they're really tarnishing that good vibe by putting our least favorite driver in a car for Daytona.
True Love, you want to go first on this one? Do you have anything to say about this?
I think Brian summed it up. I mean,
okay,
he's got to race his way in, right?
Yeah, of course, but
so we'll see.
I'll give the counterpoint here. Not a Corey LaJoie fan, but I don't really see anybody else that is available that would do the job that he'll probably be able to do. He's pretty handy at plate tracks, so I can see that working out all right. He chokes them away pretty good, but if they're trying to establish
the point to someone,
if you're trying to establish a 4-car team to work together, I feel like Corey LaJoie is probably best equipped to do that out of the guys that you actually can get. You're not going to get Corey Heim. You're not going to get somebody like that. Everyone else is locked up under other manufacturers. Matt DiBenedetto, he's okay at these things too, but we've all seen how that turns out. So I'm not actually too mad about this, but he's also running the Clash for Brad Keselowski, because he went to the Chase Elliott School of Snow Skiing over the winter and broke his leg.
He didn't even do that. Did you see him talk about that?
Well, it was broke in the parking lot, wasn't it?
His leg. He broke his leg in the parking lot. Like, he slipped on some ice and broke his leg.
He slipped on some ice. Yeah, climbing out of his truck on a ski trip. So, stolen valor.
Y'all better drink that milk. Better get to the grocery store and get you some milk if you're over the age of 40 before everyone else gets it for these ice storms, because we got to keep our calcium levels up. But that's right, I forgot about that. So not even he was looking at the brochure for the Chase Elliott School of Skiing. But
maybe that was.
But back to the more positive RFK news. All 4 RFK cars are going to be running Greg Biffle's famous 16 font on their cars, and also AJ Allmendinger, even though they're not even a Ford team, they're going to be running the exact number 16 that Greg ran on their car at Daytona, which is a very cool tribute that they didn't have to do, but feel like it would have been a lost opportunity if they didn't. So very, very nice to see them make that gesture.
Agreed. Speaking of AJ Allmendinger, currently running 3rd in the GT prototype class right now.
Nice.
Or Acura. So yeah.
And I just want to say, it's not your Ross. We don't care about your Ross. Congrats to.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was like, fuck that guy. But yeah, this Ross is good. This is a good one.
Yeah. Congrats to our friend Ross Weinkoff. He just got a job for Trackhouse. He's going to be the head chef on the road this year. So
they're going to be eating good. I'll tell you what.
One of the Andy Newsom crew has made it into the garage full time. So I think his first week on the job is Daytona.
Yeah, he's still got he's got the restaurant, right?
No, he just moved back to Virginia. He's working in another restaurant up there.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, he's a badass cook, and he does whip up some great shit at the campground too. So
the boys are going to pick up a few
legit.
tents on pit road as a result of him feeding them. I can tell you that.
Mm-hmm. So I guess technically it does help your Ross as well.
Yeah. So congratulations, Ross. You're going to eat good.
I totally forgot that's the Ross you meant. So okay.
Yeah.
So anyways, next time we speak to you guys will maybe be after the Bowman Gray Clash next week. We already mentioned Corey LaJoie will be in the car for Brad Keselowski. There's going to be a nice tribute to Greg Biffle on the grass in the infield there at the track. And so True Love, you explain the weather, since you were potentially planning on going to this and now probably won't be.
So I went last year, loved it. It was cold, but it was, bearable. I think the low last year during the race was like high 30s, even though it felt much colder.
Yeah.
This year, we were going to go, but we might just wait until the very last second to decide, because now the high for Clash weekend is 32 degrees.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the low is 6 degrees.
That's some
Yeah.
that's some
8
Thompson
p.m.
Speedway shit right there, buddy.
Race time, it's supposed to be 21 degrees, and I just don't know if I can physically do that. And
You
I
would
don't think they should be making crew members work in those conditions either. But
You would literally have to pay me $1,000 at least just to go and watch as a fan.
no, you
Not a
just-
fucking chance.
Get your
Not
long
a
Jonathan's
chance.
on. Get your Carhartts out.
No.
There
Put
are
the
no
fireball in your
layers.
in your apple cider and let's rip. Let's
Yeah.
go.
There's
Nope.
not enough hot chocolate in that place. I know last year they ran out, so
Yeah. Yeah, it is miserable being cold at a racetrack, but I don't know. Living in New England, I guess I've kind of learned that that's part of the game sometimes.
Listen, motherfucker, I grew up in New York, and I live in the Midwest now. I still hate the fucking snow. I still hate winter. I hate
yeah.
being cold.
No, I'm not a fan either, but
I've never been a winter sports guy. Never catch me at a football game. Definitely ain't doing it for racing. As much as I love racing, not happening.
And also, this ice storm hitting the south, like, roads and power might be out until,
that's
cutting
true.
it close to race time, too. So, might be a touch and go. We'll see.
Well, it might be your year to get a ticket if you haven't bought them already.
Tickets have not been selling well. I mean, even before this weather hit, I was like, all right, there's tons of tickets left, so we can just wait till last minute. So it hasn't been selling well regardless. So
Yeah. How long do y'all think till they get back to doing the Clash of Daytona?
hopefully after this weekend next year.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
could be the case.
I think this event's cool and they should still do it, but not in fucking February. Do it like, a few days before the 600 or something.
The All-Star race.
Yeah.
Should be the All-Star race. Like, why are we going to
Yeah,
Dover
no.
for the fucking All-Star race?
No,
Exactly.
that's a whole conversation we already had.
It is.
Okay.
But yeah, well, hopefully things change forecast-wise, because I'm looking forward to watching that race. I've always enjoyed it. By the way, Burt Meyer's going to be back in the car this weekend, holding up the tail, but always cool to see him out there and is on home turf. I'll be pulling for him to do something different than usually happens when he runs this. But yeah, I agree. I wish they'd make this something else. But yeah, hopefully the snow doesn't stop this from happening. And I don't know how they reschedule it if they don't.
Do it a few days before the 600.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just do it, y'all.
Yeah. That would be killer.
So,
All right. Well, with that, I think we've pretty much covered all the news and notes that we've missed over the last month or so since we last talked. So now it's time to dive deep into the septic tank of the Chili Bowl with Rob.
Yeah, come on. Let's hold hands and jump right into the center of the bowl here, because we got a lot to talk about. So I didn't make it out there till Thursday, which that's pretty much how I've always done it. I miss Monday through Wednesday. So we'll run through that real quick before we start talking about my experiences on track, or at the track. I was not on track. That's the last thing you'd want to do, though I feel like I might be more qualified than some of the folks that tried to make an attempt anyway. But more on that later. Monday night was pretty much exactly what you'd expect. It was Kyle Larson's night. He picked up the big win there in prelim night one. No idea who the sponsor was. We'll just say it was Hasty Bake, because why not? Their sponsorship was everywhere. They had one of the nights, so Hasty Bake night one going to Kyle Larson. Also, Christopher Bell winning the Race of Champions, led every single lap. Again, no surprises there. Everyone was expecting both of those guys to show up and make statements, and they did that right off the bat on Monday. Tuesday night was fucking killer. I don't know if you guys caught this, but it ended up being a battle between two of the homers, Blake Hahn and Hank Davis Jr. Those guys, both Tulsa guys, this is pretty much the only major race a year they run. They'll dip their toe into some 410 racing around the area, and they'll drive up to Knoxville or places like that once in a while, particularly Blake Hahn. But really the Chili Bowl is their bread and butter, and it ended up being 1-2 with those two guys on Tuesday night, with Blake Hahn getting the win. no one was bummed out to see that, maybe except for Hank Davis. But I was pulling for Hank Davis because he's running with the Massachusetts team, MSR, which they ended up having a good showing later in the week, but we'll get to that. But yeah, that was probably my favorite prelim night of the week. Just absolute bitchin' battle between those two guys. Came down right down to the wire. Han got him by pretty much the Nerf bar in the front of the car, and the crowd went wild. But no matter what, Tulsa was going to love that, and all the race fans out there enjoyed it too. Wednesday night, Emerson Axsom picked up the win. Another great prelim night. Not many notes from that one that I can remember off the top of my head. I honestly didn't watch that one because I had to be at the airport like 4 in the morning the next day. So I figured I'd just watch the highlights on the plane, which is what I did. And now we get to Thursday. So again, I live in Worcester. Anytime I fly anywhere, I have to wake up at the ass crack of yesterday to get to the airport. So I was up at 3:30 trying to haul to Boston. And fortunately, my wife was on a business trip in Atlanta leading into this. So I was able to park my car at central parking at Logan, which I've never done before. And she was coming in later that evening. So I just parked it. She picked it up at night. It wasn't terribly expensive, and her company's paying for it anyway. So perfect. Nice little freebie. Yeah. No buses to catch. No bullshit. I get there. I park the car. I'm walking towards security at 4. I'm like, this is exactly where I need to be. Until I actually get to the security line, and it was everyone's first day on planet Earth, and it was just fucking absolute chaos getting through security, to the point where I stood in the line for an hour, and I barely made it to boarding for my flight as a result, which I've never experienced. So just right off the bat, complete fucking stress. I'm not one of these people that can show up at the airport, an hour before their flight and not shave 5 years off of my life because of the panic attack that would come with it. And the fact that it's being forced upon me is just like, well, this is it. This is the rest of the week. Fuck, holy shit, But fortunately, I did make it through. I was also smart enough to buy a Red Bull the night before, so I had a little caffeine in my system, so I was ready to go. Rest of the trip went fine. Showed up at the Tulsa airport around noon on Thursday. Realized I had been there before, but last time I was there, I was blackout drunk, so I don't really remember it. So it was kind of the first time. So it's kind of neat to see the facility. Because I left Tulsa at ungodly hours last year, and I was wasted when I got there. Okay. So
gotcha.
It's kind of neat to see all the statues they had out front. And I was like, yeah, I know I've been to this place, but this is a brand new experience for me. So anyway, I was staying out at the Hard Rock with a good friend of the program, Kyle Armstrong. Of course, he's been out in Tulsa for weeks now with Simpson Race Products, selling helmets, Hans devices, all that good shit to pretty much everyone in sprint car racing. He was there for the shootout, went home for a few days, back in Tulsa on Sunday to get set up for the Chili Bowl. And he had my hotel key, because he was helping me out with that. So I had to go straight to the expo with all my bags. I had brought way too much shit because I had Christmas presents for my parents. As soon as I rolled into the expo with my 2 suitcases, immediately received shit from Kyle. Like, what are you doing moving to Oklahoma? Blah, blah, blah. It's all warranted. Stuffed those under the trailer and got to work. I was an unofficial employee of Simpson this weekend. Kyle needed some help selling t-shirts and stuff like that, so I stuck to the soft goods side of things, though I did learn quite a bit about safety equipment. And before I get too into it, I just want to give a shout out to everybody who's working on that side of the event. We know how hard the grind is for drivers and teams, mechanics, etc. But all the people that are supporting the event too, they've got the exact same grind, and it extends a little bit further. Obviously, they're not working on race cars or anything, but they're doing the same hours on the highway, the same hours at the event. We're talking 12-hour days inside the Expo Center at the Chili Bowl. It's a tough fucking job. And I just want to give a shout out to all those folks, particularly Kyle and the Simpson folks. They work their asses off to get all that gear out there and keep people safe. So shout out to them and everyone else working on the outside of the event, because that is a grind and a half, and it was eye-opening to me. I knew it was, but to actually experience some of that, that is a hard job talking to some of these people, I can tell you that.
It's cold in there too, isn't it? It's
not too bad, but I had a hoodie on all day. They have some pretty giant heaters in there, I guess, but yeah, it's gotcha. You're not outside, but it's certainly not normal inside either. But But yeah, spent Thursday kind of getting acquainted and selling T-shirts. Finally got that elusive Simpson hoodie I've been trying to get for 3 years now. They finally had them in my size, so I was able to pick one of those up, and it was necessary because I was selling T-shirts and shit, and so I had to look like I knew something about the company, and that was how I did it. I got to meet some pretty cool people. Cap Henry was up in the truck for a little while. He had some servicing of his equipment to be done. Also, across from us in the trade show area was Chris Ferguson and the Victory Seats trailer. Those are great people, and if you guys have listened to this show before and have listened to the Septic Tank, you've heard his name because he's a pretty renowned dirt late model driver. Killer guy. Got to spend some time with him. Really liked that guy a lot. And he was in there in the Simpson trailer hammering seats out and doing all kinds of shit for people. And again, just like I've never been on that side of things before, so it was super educational to see exactly what it takes to put a lot of this equipment together. Also, a lot of children, which is probably my favorite part of the whole experience.
I would be careful how you phrase that.
Well, I mean, it's just. Well, let me explain. It's super cool to watch these moms and dads come up with their 5, 6, 10-year-olds, whatever, and getting them fitted for their first helmet, their first hybrid, their first Hans, and like literally seeing. Who knows if any of these kids will do anything in the future? But the fact that they're in there and they're just watching a kid put a helmet on for the first time and seeing that look in their eyes, like, oh shit, it's pretty cool to experience, man. And there was one kid in particular, let me look his name up real quick. This kid was a trip. His name is Caden Anderson. He ran the restrictor class at the shootout a couple weeks ago. Him and his whole family walked up in there. His little brother was there who was 4. And he was getting fitted for a hybrid for next year, which is fucking crazy to think about, a 4-year-old getting fitted. But he walked up to me and he's like, "Hi, I'm getting a hybrid." And I was like, "What? Are you fucking serious? You're a child."
Don't get me started on having to watch children race cars.
I love it, man. But yeah,
I was watching the fucking race last night from Volusia, and like this little fat 12-year-old in a fucking straw hat won like the 602 class or something.
Well, those straw hats, they hand those out in Victory Lane.
Regardless.
Yeah. But anyway, this kid's up there getting fit. It's super wholesome. It's awesome. His dad had raced before too, so it's definitely a family affair. Love to see that. But his older son, Caden, who raced the restricted class, or races a winged restricted class car, he walked up to me and is like, "Hi, I'm Caden. I race so-and-so." I'm like, he sounded like fucking Alex Bowman on TV or something like that. I was like, "Hey, nice to meet you, man." He's like, "Can I give you a card?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." And he like reaches in his hoodie pocket and pulls out this little trading card. He's like, "You want me to sign it?" And I was like, "Hell yes, I want you to sign this. I'm going to put this up on the wall in the bar." He's like, "Oh no, I don't have a marker." And it became this wild search to find a marker. And finally he got one. He's like, "Here you go, man." I was like, "Thank you so much. This is so awesome." And then Chris Ferguson is up in the trailer too, doing some work. And he goes up to Fergie, does the same routine. And Chris thought he was asking him for an autograph because, he's a big time race car driver, right? Mm-hmm. And he was very shocked to find out he was getting an autograph given to him. Yeah, Caden Anderson,
very wholesome
fan for life. I will be following that kid as far as his journey goes. But that whole family was fun. But yeah, just lots of that, and that really that warmed my heart to see, and also kind of a sobering reminder of how serious all this stuff is and how important having proper safety gear is, because you're seeing literal children getting fit for gear that. The same shit that Kyle Larson and Christopher Bell and Emerson Axsom and all these big time guys are wearing out there. It's the same for the kids too, and but they're children, which are essentially raw eggs ready to be exploded on the grocery store floor. So it's super important to get that done. Also, this is an aside. I don't know if I should say this on the show, but some guy walked up to us and he's like, "Hey man, I'm getting back into racing." And it's like, "Okay, that's cool." And he's like, "I need to know the difference between hybrids and Hans devices. Which one's safer?" And I was like, "Well, it's a comfort preference. If you have any real specific questions, go talk to Kyle in the trailer. He'll help you out. But like, both are effective. Both offer different things, but both will keep your body in one piece when you slam into the fence at Tulsa, which seems like something you might end up doing. And he's like, the thing is, man, I'm just, I'm an old man now, and I just want to be here for my kids. And what went through my head was, well, maybe you shouldn't be deciding to race a fucking micro sprint at age 40. I didn't say that because I'm a good salesman. But yeah, I was kind of. But yeah, that's pretty much all the notes from Simpson there. Yeah, Cap Henry stopped by, cool guy. Fergie was in there. Got to meet Matt Westfall. That was kind of cool. I always pick him in dirt draft, and he's quite the shoe. And yeah, it was pretty much Thursday, and not long before my unofficial shift ended, a good friend of the program, Josh Davis, and the whole squad showed up to the Expo Center. Josh came by, got me a nip, which was cool. That was to be saved for when I clocked out. And I told him, we're going to the Rowdies. You got to see it. Do your thing, but I'll text you when I'm done, and we'll meet up in the Rowdies. And that almost was a failed mission. And I'm not kidding when I say this. Like, I have never seen that many people at the Chili Bowl before. Like, even like watching on television on Monday through Wednesday, the stands were packed. And usually it's not the case. Like, obviously Friday and Saturday are the big days, and you can expect big crowds there. But for a Wednesday and Thursday to be as busy as it was pretty unreal. And we found the last 3 seats in the house over in the Rowdies on Thursday night and got to watch Christopher Bell put on a fucking show, coming from 7th to pick up the prelim win night. I don't know if you guys watched that at all, but Bell was my favorite to win the race after watching that. It's his own midget. He owns it. It's not related with KKM or any of those teams. It's his own shit, and it was dialed in, and man, he put on a show coming to the front there. Rowdy's best section in that building to watch, just by being so close and getting hit with all that debris, and it's not an experience for everybody. But if you've got it real bad, like Josh and I do, and of course friend of the program Alex Hammett, who unfortunately couldn't make it this year, we tried. The whole weekend was a struggle of deciding on what videos to send to him because I didn't want to make him feel left out. I was like, oh, I just shotgunned a beer. That probably should have gone to Alex, but I don't know. But eventually we sent him a hello video and just to wish you were here, and that was fine. But yeah, not the same without Alex being out there. But Josh did a good job filling in, as did our buddy Lucas from Iowa. Great kid. Excited to hang out with him again in the future. They were all part of this squad of people that were kind of hanging out with Carson Hocevar. They know him through iRacing and all that, and got to meet Carson. He's a chill guy. I very much like him. I'm very much 20 years older than him, which I forget sometimes that these people are much younger. That's not a statement on Carson, but just looking at him, I'm just like, oh, fuck, I'm old.
He's dead.
What do I have to say to this guy,
Yeah.
But he was chill. He was out there on Chili's business because Chili's is now a big sponsor of the event and all that. But anyway, Christopher Bell wins. Take everybody down the track. It's one thing I always like to do at the Chili Bowl with people that have never been there before, or any racetrack for that matter. If you have access to places you wouldn't normally get to go, let's go down and see it. And so we did a little track walk and got our pictures made in Victory Lane and all that, and that was pretty cool. And I always tell people, and I told Josh this, this might be the only chance you have to do this, so just really take a second and turn your brain off and just soak this all in. Like, understand where you're standing, look around, remember what you just watched that happened out here about 20 minutes ago, and just realize that you're in the middle of a very special place. And we did that, and yeah, I love doing that. I'm a very sentimental guy. You guys probably know that from listening to this show, but I love doing that shit, and I live for it. And anytime you have an opportunity to do that and share it with others, you got to. So we did that, had a great time. And after that, it was time for Chili Bowl After Dark. Of course, Thursday is the sort of unofficial big party night, I guess, because Friday, everyone's kind of getting ready for Saturday. Of course, the big show, and Thursday's the last night to really cut loose. Some of those folks have been there all week. It's the drinking night, and it's kind of when everybody lets their hair down a little bit in the garage or the pits and goes for it. And it's become an event. Unfortunately, no wet T-shirt contest this year to report about.
Oh, dang.
They blocked the stage up with all the flows, like post-race stuff. and they have Bobby Moore's, of course, the Chili Bowl painter. Got to see him eventually. We'll get to that. But they had his paintings like kind of shoved off to the side. They were up on the stage, but kind of flanking all that. And there was no wet T-shirt contest, unfortunately. I did make the broadcast. I happened to see Matthew Dillner and the crew walking around, and I waved at him. And within 30 seconds, I was lining up to punch the shit out of an inflatable kangaroo. So if you guys watch the Flow After Dark segment, you can catch me embarrassing myself on television for the third year in a row. But it was great to see Dillner. Those guys worked their asses off putting together coverage for that event, and it was excellent this year, as always. But particularly this year, I feel like, this ended up being the biggest broadcasting event in the history of flow racing. I think they had over 1 million views or something for their content, and I think hundreds of thousands were watching the actual Chili Bowl, which is unreal to not be on television. So they had their work cut out for them. I think they pulled it off pretty well. But after that, we did another lap around the pits and decided it was time to get back to the Hard Rock. Of course, I was riding with Kyle since I was sort of moonlighting with Simpson a little bit. And we had to be back at the track the next morning, but there's still plenty of time to hang out at the casino, which is what we ended up doing. I lost $2 on Thursday night, which was unfortunate. You can't win them all.
Were you playing slots? Or?
Yeah, just slot machines. I did see some people make big wins. Carson Hocevar walked up to a table, put money down, and won immediately, to which Josh said, "Yeah, it's always the fucking rich guys winning money, isn't it?" I thought it was funny. And also, you can smoke indoors at this place, and I'm not much of a smoker, but any opportunity I have to rip darts inside of a building, I'm absolutely going to take it. And I was like, oh yeah, we can smoke in here. And I asked like some floor attendant or one. I was like, hey, can you buy cigarettes in here? And I was like, oh yeah, right over there at the convenience store, about 100 yards that way. And I just drew a beeline to it. And Josh told me afterwards, he's like, man, I've never seen you move with such quickness. Then when you were heading to get cigarettes, it was laser focused. And I smoked more than I should have and felt like absolute dog shit the next morning. But I will say this, there was an extra suite open, courtesy of Simpson, so thank you guys. Thank you, Kyle, for hooking that up. I had a room to myself for one night, and it was on the 16th floor or whatever. Beautiful view of 412, which not much to look at out there, but that's what you look at. I had a hot tub in there.
Oh.
But it was like one of those.
Take advantage of it?
No, I was only in there for about 4 hours.
Wash off all that dirt in there.
Yeah, I got back to the room, slept in my jeans, and woke up to get back to the expo pretty early. And woke up, and I was washing my hands for some reason. That was probably a good one. And my sink clogged up immediately, and I was like, wow, that sucks. So I washed my hands in the hot tub for the rest of the morning. So it did get some use. Anyway, but
now was this the night that you had a sandwich, or is that Friday?
That was Friday night.
Okay, we'll get to that.
Yeah, I had some loaded chili tater tots or something, which looked like they didn't look good, but they went down. I didn't eat much of anything the entire weekend until we got back to the casino, just because the hours were so wacky.
Oh yeah, didn't have any good Chili Bowl food.
No, not really. I can tell you it was kind of expensive. Beers there are about $15 for a tall beer, but it is a 24-ounce can, so the math does kind of work out, but it does hurt the wallet a little bit. Yeah, so Friday, I don't think I missed anything. Actually, before we move on, let me just double-check my photos and make sure that I haven't missed any golden moments. I definitely didn't.
Josh and them staying at the Hard Rock too? Or?
No, they were staying downtown.
Okay.
Completely on the other side of Oklahoma, so they had a nice long ride back to wherever the fuck they were going. Yeah, so we're going down. We stop at the front desk in the morning to take care of some business. Some people were leaving, so I had to check out of rooms and all that and move things around. I had to get me a key for another room. I was staying with Kyle for the rest of the weekend. And we noticed that there's a little welcoming backpack for Kenny Wallace sitting up there behind the concierge desk. So we knew Uncle Kenny was going to be in the building. That was very exciting. And I was hoping to get to see him in the wild at a casino because I feel like that's probably something to witness, but that never came to fruition. But he was in there. He was definitely up in the Hard Rock. We get back to the Expo Center around, 9:30 or something like that to get the trailer opened up. Kyle's coworker has still not arrived at this point, so we get to work, and she shows up at some point. And we have a nice day of, again, selling stuff. Lots of helmets, by the way. If you want one of those Simpson hoodies, there's not many of them left in adult sizes, so might have to order them off the internet. But you will look good. They're the best hoodies I've ever worn in my life. Not just saying that as a quote-unquote employee. They really are pretty special.
They do look good. I do like that simple design.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Let's see here. Yeah, Friday was just a lot of work up until... let's see here. About 5 o'clock, I get a text from a friend of the program, Chris Davis. That's Josh's brother. I know I've mentioned him on the show before, but just as a refresher, he's in the Navy. He was based at the sub base in Groton, about 2 hours south of where I live in Worcester. We used to go to Stafford and Thompson all the time. He was kind of my racing buddy up here. He's gone to Loudon with us and camped, and he's just a great dude, and I love Chris. And I haven't seen him in a couple years since he moved down to Texas once he got stationed down there. And he decided to make the drive up and hang out with everybody kind of last minute, and I was so stoked about it. But once Chris showed up, I split off from work and went and hung out with him and everybody, and it was a good time. Let's see if there's... I'm kind of going through photos here just to see if I missed anything. Like I said, I've never seen this many people at the Chili Bowl before. It was jam-packed pretty early on Friday, which, again, never seen that before. Never seen that many people there that early. We tried to go down to the Rowdies, and it was absolutely impossible to get a seat down there. Impossible. So we ended up watching the C and B mains and the feature from this, like, sort of another deck. There's like this flat deck that is in turn 4, kind of right next to the ramp that you can get up there. It feels sketchy. It should not be holding 2,000 people, but it does. And we stood at the very tip top of that thing, just kind of, not all of us are praying guys, but everybody got to know Jesus up there. I can tell you that because it felt a little sketchy. There's almost like a ship ladder going up to get up there. And we had some nips, made some friends. It was fun. It was a very fun time. And then Logan Seavey ended up picking the win there, which I'm not a big fan of his, so kind of is what it is. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention this. On Thursday night, again, Chris Ferguson's folks were right across from us the whole weekend. We go out to the car, and they're down on the ground under their dually, like, with a flashlight, looking at it. And I was like, oh, shit, they might be having some trouble. We go up and see what's going on. Somebody had shoved a fucking empty Maker's Mark bottle between the tires on the left side of their dually, like all the way up, like the entire neck of the bottle was just shoved in there, and they could not get it out.
It's assault.
Yeah, they tried to drive out. The top broke when they did it. They could hear it back there, and I was like, what the fuck is that? And they got out and found that, and they had a board out and all that, and like a tire iron and all that, trying to pry this thing out. And they couldn't get it, and I was like, what the fuck are we gonna do, man? And our friend Lucas, again, he's a big Iowa corn-fed boy. He even right down to the college football merch he had on. He had an Iowa hat and hoodie on. He's like, let me give it a shot. And he puts his hands on this thing and pulls this bitch out with his bare hands.
Did he have on like denim overalls too?
No, just a guy. No gloves, just rips this fucker out of there and sends Fergie and the family on the way. I don't know who did that, but fuck you. Probably just some drunk. But still, that's not trying to kill people at the Chili Bowl. That's fucking stupid. So fuck you for doing that. But anyway, they got lucky on that one, and thank God an Iowa man showed up to get his hands on that bottle. And then it was back to the Hard Rock, which was a pretty good night.
Wasn't Friday night the night that Jesse Love flipped?
Friday night was the night that Jesse Love flipped. I had reported to you guys. Yes, that could have been from Gavin Miller, it turns out. There was a couple really nasty flips on Friday night. Jesse Love did get injured in his flip. We had heard it was a broken foot. Apparently that was actually Gavin Miller who got some broken bones out of that. I think Jesse Love did receive a shoulder injury of some sort or a collarbone injury or something like that, but he did not return on Saturday as a result of that. No idea on his condition. I don't know if they even announced what happened to him, but he was out of the car and they were done for the weekend after that. But man, the print from the Nerf bar and the track, we'll post this on the Instagram. It was fucking deep.
While we're on the subject of Jesse, but I never saw any notifications of any injuries posted publicly. But we'll do the dart for the week now since it's in reference.
Yes,
to
it
Jesse,
is.
And this is one that I pointed out.
Yeah, thank you, Brian.
So Flow Racing, posted a clip of Jesse's wreck, and Bob Pockris quote tweets it and says Jesse Love won't race today after this flip. And we get Rowdy Ninja 8 from Twitter quote tweet or responding with dumbest motorsport, dirt racing is hot garbage. Easily that's going to be right up at the top of the list of dumbest Darth takes of not just this year, of all time, because it's one of the stupidest things you can say.
Yeah, you can suck me, Rowdy.
Yeah.
Suck me, please.
Just zoomed in on his little profile picture.
Yeah.
Cool lime green bike, dude.
Yeah, very cool. I don't think I need to say anything for y'all to know my opinion on this guy. But I will say that he will be helping Bozo run the Cup game this year on the new season of Bozo the Clown, because it is the same same organization. But yeah, casino that night. There's a country bar there in the casino, because of course there is. Ironically, it's in the non-smoking section, which kind of pissed me off because I was ready to just send the rest of my lungs to hell. But we walk over there and there's nobody smoking, and I'm about to rip a dart, and someone's like, "No, you can't do that in here." And it's like, why? There's a guy playing "Only in America" by Brooks and Dunn up there. Like, I can't smoke a cigarette to this? Anyway, so us and the whole crew, all the Carson Hocevar contingent, which I think I already said this, by the way, great guy, took care of a lot of those dudes. Sweet dude. I'm definitely a fan.
Didn't
for
get
sure.
us any Chili's coupons out of it.
No, I'm sorry. I did not. But I'm sure I could have. There was a Chili's in the airport I almost stopped at to get a photo at, but then I was like, you've seen one, you've seen them all. But yeah, it's just the casinos, like, I enjoy them. I have a good time. This one is particularly cheap when it comes to drink prices, like $5 beers, so that was fine. I didn't play long enough to have one of the ladies in the little feather hats or whatever come around and give me a free one. But I was willing to pay at the bar. It was fine. And we spent time in this country bar watching a cover band play. The DJ was the real killer, though. He was playing all the A-level moron country hits that I love. We got Dinosaur by Hank Williams Jr. You get to see a video of that performance on the Instagram.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Oh, you've seen that already?
You sent it to us.
Okay, well. Well, the rest of y'all will see this pretty soon. So it was just a lot of screaming and singing. I ended up at a bar with Carson and Sheldon Creed. I did not get a chance to ask if he gives refunds for bad quarter bets, unfortunately, for you, Brian. But those guys are pretty cool. Again, I'm just older than them, and I forget that sometimes, so I didn't even bother going up and saying hi. And Josh even turned around to me at some point and was like, "Man, I'm just fucking old around these people." I'm just like, "Yep, let's get out of here." So I went and got me a BLT and wandered around and played some more slots and got grease all over the buttons and walked around that place like it was my fucking living room. Ended up back in the room around 2:30, something like that. Kyle had just gotten back from a big night at the tables. I think he came up on the weekend, so good for him.
Washing your grease off in the hot tub.
Exactly. Well, no, there's no hot tub in this room. This is a more reasonable. So we just watched South Park and went to sleep. And then it was time for Saturday. The big show, and I've never been to the Chili Bowl this early. For those of you who've never watched the event, Saturday, of course, is the soup. I think they started on O-Mains this year. I woke up at 7:30 in the morning, very hungover and not feeling it. but we got to get up and get to work, right? You got to get in, and even if I wasn't working, Kyle's still my ride, and I'm not paying $40 for an Uber, so I've got to find it in me somewhere and be excellent today to get out of bed. And by 8 o'clock, they're already running hot laps for the O-mains, which, by the way, Sammy Swindell had a rough weekend, a couple big flips, and that put him at the very back of the field. So yeah, this is all going on as we're sitting in the Sonic drive-thru getting burritos and shit. Get to the Chili Bowl about 10 o'clock, which I guess was late. I don't know, but that's when I showed up.
Wasn't your favorite driver in the O or P or something?
We talking about who? Robert Bell?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was back there.
Yeah, I mean, I for 2 years I have been trying to see him race, and I don't even think I don't even know if he made the O. No, he did make it, but I saw him for 3 seconds.
Everyone makes the O, but
no,
I will say this: I blew right past Robert Bell. That guy was there almost every single night, just sitting at his trailer holding court. What a cool guy! I didn't have a chance to stop in. There was always a crowd around him. You would have thought Kyle Larson or Christopher Bell was sitting back there. And for anyone who says that the Flow broadcast doesn't care about any of the underdogs or anything like that, I would argue differently just based on how many people were crowded around him at all times. And his car was taken apart. And
he
you should have seen this fucking engine, dude. Like, there were squirrels living in that motherfucker.
There was a video.
I'll send you all the picture right now. Hold on.
Well, yeah, Flo posted a video. He blew his motor and, like, literally blew a hole in the block.
Yes.
And they showed a video of him changing it. And, yeah, I'd asked Rob to get me a shirt, and Robert, you know, when he got his segment on Flo, middle of the week, he's like, yeah, I brought 60 shirts and sold them already. I'm like, Jesus Christ, Robert. Like, probably could have added a 0 to that and sold out all of them.
Oh, he would have. There's no question about it. I mean, the shirts were gone by the time I got there on Thursday.
Yeah.
There was no chance. I'll have to find the photo and send it to you, and we'll post it as well. But yeah, this midget is fucked up.
But to be fair, he is, you know, yeah, he's an underdog, but he's also like a top level personality as far as an underdog goes. I mean, there's a reason why they give him the spotlight. So
absolutely. But yeah, it was definitely cool to see him sitting on that scooter in his element, you know, just being appreciated. It comes once a year for him. He doesn't race that much anymore. He's won a heat before. You know, he's never been the top of the pile, but it was awesome to see him out there being appreciated for sure.
Did you see Brian's second favorite driver, the Pizza Man, at all?
No.
This weekend?
I thought we talked about this in our chat. But,
we did, yeah. There's a whole...
So, I don't even... it's hard to really parse all the details of all this, but I'll just quick break it down. So yeah, this kid, he rented somebody's ride and like showed up and didn't fit in the car. Like his head was sticking out of the fucking cage, and he was saying
a fucking 6-inch pad to put. Whatever. Like, go ahead.
Like he was saying there was issues with the padding or whatever, and then they fixed it and they got his head 2 inches below. But then the car owner went on Facebook after a few days, like, listen, I'm tired of this fucking kid. And he basically laid it all out to where, like, the kid started, like, Brayton started, like, grinding shit in this dude's car to try to, like, fit his steering wheel. Mm-hmm. And then, like, he didn't even show up to fucking practice on time because he was buying NASCAR cards on the way to the track.
Yep.
And then I guess his...
Yeah, what was that video, True Love, that you sent us? He was opening, or was that you, Brian? He was opening a pack of World of Outlaws cards. And the way he said Freddie Raymer's name... It's like, Romer? I don't know. It's like, you know what? Fuck you.
They were making adjustments to his seat, and then I'm trying to remember the post, but I think after a while of like hemming and hawing and the parents were getting involved, eventually he was just like, nah, fuck this. You guys are done. I'm out. I'm done with this. Like, it's not happening. So
yeah. I mean, let's be honest. Like, the Chili Bowl, and this is where it gets confusing because I remember seeing the Chili Bowl saying he wasn't allowed to run. And everyone was kind of like, well, why? But he didn't run a single practice lap, and he was going to line up at the back of a heat at the Expo Center, which means you're going to yard sale this fucking car.
Yeah.
And with all due respect to his talent, which, you know, you can make your own judgments on that, I can understand why these decisions were made. So I'm not a fan of that kid by any means. I don't want to talk too much shit, but yeah, I'm not a fan, and I'm glad it was the right call. We'll put it like that.
He did,
I mean, there was another
get a video of a fight or something near him.
He did, yeah. And
over the week.
A lot of people were trying to say that was why he got banned, and it was like,
oh, it had nothing to do with that.
Had nothing to do with that, yeah.
Meanwhile, there was another dude that was 6'6" and 300 pounds, and they came
that
with a
lineman.
car where they actually made a proper cage for him, and he actually did fairly well.
With all due respect, Robert Bell was out there.
Yeah, Robert, exactly.
Come on, don't give me this safety, whatever. The Robert Bell's out there running, so you fucked up. That's all it is. Yeah. But yeah, Saturday. Through a set of unfortunate circumstances, our coworker in the trailer, Kyle's coworker, had to go home, which left him by himself. And given all of the special treatment I had received through Kyle, I spent the whole day working with him. I wasn't going to leave him by himself because it was fucking slammed. It was Darth City out there, and I sold the shit out of some hoodies for Simpson. I was there all day. And also, I'll say this. If you're going to get fitted for a fire suit, could we not wait until opening ceremonies of the Chili Bowl Nationals to get that done? Could we not do that? And again, I'm a bystander. I was there. But come on, man. You wait till opening ceremonies, the national anthem, to come over and be like, man, I want to try on the cheapest fire suit you have. And to these guys' credit, they actually paid the money. They bought a bunch of gear, so good for them. But we've been here since 10 in the morning. So maybe come see us a little earlier, please.
All week.
Yeah, I can't imagine the shit that Kyle puts up with. And all those folks put up with throughout the year with dumbass racers. And again, there's professionals. There's a lot of really Taylor Ferns being one of them. She stopped by the trailer. I don't know if you know who she is, but she's a longtime USAC racer, Silver Crown racer, total badass. And she stopped by and got some measurements and repairs done. Quick aside here. Again, I don't know if I should say this either, but she stopped in the trailer, and there's some other dude up in there who was doing business, and he looks at her and is like, oh, you race? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, women don't usually race. And I could just, as a man with a wife, I could see the look in her eyes, just the dying inside. And she's like, yeah, I've been doing it for 20 years, and I raced Silver Crown. And I knew who she was at that point. Mm-hmm. And so I decided to interject myself into the situation. I was like, wait a second, what'd you say your name was again? She's like, I'm Taylor Ferns. And I was like, oh yeah, I picked you up on Dirt Draft before. And I don't know if she gave a shit about that or not, but I just felt like I needed to interject there. And it's like, leave this chick alone. Yeah, she might not be the most successful driver out there, but she's runs Winchester before. And that takes a pretty giant sack to do that.
Can't all be Haley Deegan.
Can't all be Haley Deegan. And it's true, I have picked her up in Dirt Draft before. So, yeah, Taylor Ferns, shout out. She's also a lawyer, which I didn't know that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so she's probably used to dealing with shitheads all the time. But
very quick, brief aside. I'm just looking at Twitter, and Short Track Scene just posted a picture of Bowman Gray stating it has been brine treated in advance of the winter storm this weekend. I don't know what the fuck that means.
Well, that's not going to make me warmer in the grandstands.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's going to keep the track from salting up. That's what they do. They'll spray a solution on the racetrack to keep it from icing over. So, we'll see how much it does if they actually get a foot of snow. Yeah, you want some brine treatment? Well, shrimp, they get brine treated too, so maybe there's something to that. But anyway, I put in a full day of work with Kyle. Poor guy, I feel so bad for him because he's just kind of on his own because his help had to go home. And we get the trailer buttoned up. And fortunately it's in time for the C mains, but it is so fucking packed. And shout out to Carson Hosevar for giving us a heads up of this one little section of grandstand, ticketed seats, mind you, But he's like, hey, there's been nobody sitting there this entire week. If you guys are going to sit somewhere, try and sit there. And so this whole group of people have been like kind of camping in these seats. And I was able to squeeze in the last available seat up in the grandstands there. And man, I tell you what, like, again, never seen it this packed at the Chili Bowl. And it's honestly, like, I'm going to go back. I look forward to going back, but I'm going to have to buy an actual seat for these races if I want to see it.
Yeah.
Because it's just so covered up. And, like, there was a security guard and some old timer just screaming at each other at the base of the grandstands. And I just, like, waltzed by them with my $15 beer to, like, try and sneak up there and, like, steal the last seat available in the entire house. Which I was fortunate enough to do. Josh and Chris Davis were up there. Basically, that whole squad was up there. I don't think all of them were really into dirt racing. A lot of them this is their first experience at a dirt race. And the Chili Bowl, of course, being a pretty pretty intense one to begin with. Some of them kind of like walked around and like got out of the grandstands because it was pretty dusty on Saturday, I'll say that. Before I forget, I didn't get to watch any of the soup really, but I got to give a shout out to Darren Nadia, coming from the O main all the way to the G. That is the biggest soup run in the history of the Chili Bowl, and he only missed the F main by one spot, and it's because they go to 5 cars from 6 for the transfer at that point. And he got caught up in some trouble that wasn't his own, but it kept him from getting that last spot. He would have kept going. That kid was on a fucking rail. And he might have gone even further and had an all-time Chili Bowl. I mean, he already did. I mean, the O to the F is, or the G, excuse me, is incredible stuff. So I gotta shout him out. Also, I forgot to mention this. I got to meet Jason McDougal for the first time. Of course, that's the guy I went viral with last year when I was flipping off Darren Pittman of all people. He came up to the trailer. He had some business to attend to, and I was like, hey, man, you have no idea who I am. And, of course, that's a bad way to lead off a conversation with somebody. And I was like, but last year you and I went viral together. To be clear, I was on your side. And he's like, oh, yeah, that was you. Okay, yeah, I know you were on my side. I was like, good. But J-Mac's a cool dude. I believe those cars came out of the same stable. And, yeah, Darren put on a fuck of a show. That's 9 transfers, if I remember correctly, which is so hard to do. That is a Chili Bowl record, and shout out to him. There was another kid that did it too. I forget his name. I did not write that down, so my apologies. But a couple of massive soup runs this year, and that provided great entertainment for everybody during the afternoon.
Did you find our Jay while you were there?
Who?
Jay. Where's Jay?
Oh, no, we could not find him. He's still
Did you
missing.
at least give a good "Where's Jay"?
Oh, we asked.
Top of your lungs.
We asked the crowd amassed at the SageNet Center where Jay was, and they had no idea.
That's good. Well, no one does.
I did think it was funny that Kyle Petty posted a video of him standing in front of the driller, but he was nowhere within 1,000 miles of that place. Taken by Jay, so. But yeah, I mean, the vibe in the building was unreal. Again, like, never seen it that busy. I cannot stress that. I keep saying it every 5 minutes, but I've never seen a crowd like this at this event. And it was awesome. The vibe was absolutely electric. And hold on, I gotta look this kid's name up real quick. The 14-year-old, what the fuck was his name?
Jet Barnes.
Jet Barnes, yes. Mm-hmm. He received the biggest cheers and driver intros. He walked out and shotgunned what ended up being one of those Victory Fuel waters.
Yeah.
Which Victory Fuel, of course, is it's an energy drink, and I saw a lot of young children walking around with those cans, like looking like miniature versions of adults. And I was like, Jesus, these kids are gonna be fucking jacked up off these.
Yeah, Not many 14-year-olds can say they shotgunned a can of something right in front of Tony Stewart.
Yeah,
Chili Bowl.
Yeah, but
so.
Larson and Bell and all those guys were teaching him how to shotgun before he went up there and did it, and he went out there and shotgunned that. And by the way, Jet Barnes put on a fucking show as well.
Listen, I cannot see Christopher Bell shotgunning anything.
No, but he was down there. Yeah,
Larson has
He was in the
experience.
vicinity.
yeah. But man,
I
like
think it was Grant.
it was Justin Grant. You're right. But I've never heard a cheer like that in driver intros for anybody. That 14-year-old walking out there and just commanding the place, and
Yeah.
that was awesome. But yeah, Jet, he had a good run too. He was doing all right in the A main. He ran into some issues and it didn't turn out as well as he could. But he's got a long future of this. Again, he's 14 years old, for fuck's sake. What was I doing at 14? Hiding corn CDs from my parents. That's what I was doing at 14. So. But yeah, I did see Kenny Wallace in the grandstands. He walked out there and he did his Ric Flair routine, got the turn 4 grandstand all fired up. He was pointing, putting his hand up to his ear and wooing and all that. It was great. But yeah, the vibe was so good. And honestly, this feature race was one of the best we've seen in years. Kyle Larson was on the pole. Emerson Axsom starting to his outside. Larson had an early lead, but then Emerson kind of put it to him pretty early and he said in his interview after the race, not to give it away, but Emerson, of course, ends up winning. But he said, yeah, I knew I needed to get out front and control this thing if I wanted to have any shot at it, which is 100% correct. They got into traffic. Unfortunately, Kyle Larson ended up on the wrong end of C.J. Leary when he had a tire failure, and he kind of just clipped him and flipped. It was like the most slowest flip in the history of dirt racing. But yeah, he was out of it after that. It was a pretty lively A-Main. There was a lot of accidents and things that went down. My least favorite was Can't Drive Cannon McIntosh just feeding the right rear to Shane Golovic and flipping him, which was complete bullshit. That's what Cannon does, and I don't like him. So that's why he has
The internet definitely lit up over that.
Yeah. I mean, he's done it to pointing at people. That's how he races. He's fast. There's no question about it, but I can't say I'm a Cannon McIntosh fan by any stretch of the imagination, and that is pretty much the prime example of why. Again, Emerson almost blew the race. He jumped the cushion, and Logan Seavey got underneath him and almost finished the move. But there was another accident, which caused the field to reset, so that saved his ass. And that led up to the finish where Emerson picked up his first Chili Bowl Nationals win, and Kevin Thomas Jr. coming in second. Big run for him. He almost had Emerson right at the end, but Emerson was just too juiced up to get it. He got it done. It was fucking awesome to watch. Also, shout out to Hank Davis. He went out there and came from pretty much the back of the field, getting a podium out of it with the MSR team from here in beautiful, snowy Massachusetts. Very strange to be sitting up there watching a team from Massachusetts come in third at the Chili Bowl, but I was fucking jazzed up about that, to see the old Bentley Saloon logo on the side of that car. I'm pretty sure I suggested that a few of his guys, I think they were with MSR. They stopped by the Simpson trailer. I can't remember their names, but I think they were with him. But I told them to go to the Town Pump. That's, of course, the bar where the bartenders pick up quarters with their tits and they light them on fire, and it's super cheap. And we mentioned it on last year's Chili Bowl special, and they went, and those guys came up the next day. I was like, man, we missed you at the Pump last night. And I was hungover, just like, excuse me? And just like, the Town Pump, you told us to go there. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. No, I did not make that. And it's like, well, you should have, because A, B, and C happened. And it was just like basically the same exact story that Alex and I had last year. I was like, yeah, that place is fucking killer, isn't it? They're like, yep. But anyway, Emerson Axsom picking up a win. I would say it's a pretty subdued Victory Lane interview, but I just don't think he really had internalized what he just done. Emerson
is he, like 21 or something?
He's in his early 20s. He's one of these guys that he's been heralded as the next big thing for a while, and he's starting to make the jump into 410s and run outlaw races and high limit races and all that. But he hasn't had that moment where everyone's like, oh shit, he's here. Mm-hmm. And I mean, this is it, right? He just won the fucking Chili Bowl.
I thought he put on a hell of a show.
It was good. Yeah, he did exactly what he needed to do. He got aggressive with the guys that he needed to get aggressive with, and he pulled off the win. Justin Grant, also big run from him. Unfortunately, flipped with like 2 laps to go. That was actually the wreck that saved Emerson's run.
I can't say I was disappointed by that. I'm not a huge Justin Grant fan.
Dude, I'll tell you, man. I'm not a fan, but I respect the shit out of him for him breaking his leg last year, running all those late races and winning. And he's still limping around. Like, that guy is not 100% still. Like, I saw him in the pits just, like, having a hard time walking around, like, limping. And for him to go out there and put on the show that he did was very impressive. So, yeah, I got to give Justin Grant his flowers. It was a shame to see him upside down, like one of the 8 NASCARs that ended up on their lids over the weekend. Also, shout out to Ryan Bernal. Big fan of that guy after watching him this week. Never the fastest car, but, man, he is super, super tidy and a midget, and I'm a big fan of his, so I got somebody else to buy merch from now, I guess. But, yeah, Emerson picked up the win. Lots of confetti everywhere. Everyone was stoked about it. An absolutely electric feature. Very dusty. You'll see a video that I took from the stands where you really can't see much of anything. It was like being outside at an Ohio dirt track or the World Finals. I believe, True Love, you sent us a text saying that you couldn't see anything on TV.
No, you couldn't.
Yeah.
I said you need to put a box fan in a window.
Yeah, it was tough.
But yeah, it was real bad. But fortunately, I did not catch the Chili Bowl flu this year. Somehow skipped that. I think Kyle may have saved me yet again by working at the trailer. And not being exposed to it as much as I have been in past years. He definitely got sick, I know that, so hopefully he's on the mend, because I know he's got to go to Volusia in a couple days here, if he can even make it down there with all this ice. But yeah, after that, another quick little run around the pits. Oh, real quick shout out to former guest Bobby Blaze. He was out there. We had a couple drinks out there in the pits on Friday night. That kid rules. It's good to see him. But anyway, back to Saturday. We left the stands after that, kind of did a lap, ran into a few more people. Finally got to see Bobby Moore, the Chili Bowl painter. We mentioned him several times on the show, and of course him and his wife got in a pretty serious motorcycle accident. And they were both recovering very well, and he was out there on crutches. Again, very long recovery, but that dude is one of the most positive people you're ever going to meet on this planet, and I needed to see him. It was good to give him a hug and hang out with him. We got our pictures made with him and talked for a little while, and said goodbyes to other folks. Matthew Dillner, we caught him down on the track. Made sure I drug everybody in the crew down there, and Carson and everybody down to I think he kind of made his way on down there because he knows where Victory Lane is, because he's a race car driver. So he met up with us and the whole squad down there, and we got a big photo made in Victory Lane down in the infield as well. And then it was time to go. I went and helped Kyle pack up the trailer and put everything in there, got it locked up, quick fist bump and a beer, and we drove back to the Hard Rock and did not see the casino floor that night. Just went to Sonic and stopped by the gas station for a second, where this is the last kind of weird story of the weekend. We show up in the gas station, like the Circle K next to the casino. Like the front door was completely shattered in like this human-shaped kind of hole.
You sent us a picture of the shattered glass, but never gave us any context.
So apparently, and I don't know if a guy just ran through the glass or if he just slammed the door, but he was coming in to take a shit. And he just blew in there, glass shatters, big mess, goes in, takes care of his business, and walks out, says nothing, and just disappears off into the Oklahoma night. And it was cold as fuck out there, I'll tell you that. So the whole Circle K team had their parkas on and all that, so hopefully their night got a little bit better and they got some cardboard up there. But yeah, we retired to the room, had a quick beer, and we watched more South Park. And then it was off to bed, and Kyle had an early morning. He had to get the trailer all rounded up from the Chili Bowl, and on his way back to North Carolina. And then my folks came and picked me up from the casino, which was funny.
Did they come inside for a minute?
No, they just picked me up right at the entrance. I didn't need to drag them in there to see that. But I did get to see professional pillow fighting on ESPN The Ocho for the first time, which I didn't know was a sport.
So weird.
But yeah, Chili Bowl 2026, it was awesome. It was definitely a different experience from the previous times I've gone. Still got some partying in, but it was definitely a little bit more tied up and less chaotic than years past. But it was still a great time, and I cannot wait to get back out there in 2027. And hopefully they figure out a way to make sure everybody has a way to see the event, because again, they just don't stop selling pit passes. And there was also a giant fight in the Rowdies. I've seen some videos which you guys will never see of this fight, but it was very clearly people who had never been there before, or just, I don't know, didn't understand where they were sitting. And like I said, a lot of the original Rowdies kind of took off before the A main, just because it was so chaotic over there. And it's changing, and that's what happens when an event blows up. And I think it's great for dirt racing, but at the same time, like, I hope they're able to retain some sort of semblance of the spirit that led into it, not just turn it into another version of Talladega, because it kind of was its own thing before, but now I think that more people are finding out about it, which is great. They're going to have to do something to kind of keep it under control, and I hope that doesn't mean that we lose the spirit of the event as a result of it. But either way, I'll be there in 27, no question about it, and you should make sure you put that on your plans going forward, because there's nothing like the Chili Bowl.
I'm glad you survived another one.
I did. Yep. Didn't even get sick this time. It was great.
I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
So,
there's some septic tank notes.
Last little septic tank notes. I didn't watch really hardly any of the Wild West Shootout.
I didn't
Obviously,
either. Yeah.
You didn't. RTJ, Hudson O'Neal won races.
Ethan Dodson slapping the shit out of the top of his car for some reason, winning a Wednesday night race. I guess they really needed the money. I don't know, but I've never seen anybody more excited to win a Wednesday night than Ethan Dodson. Yeah, Garrett Alberson picked up a win. That's big for me. I love that guy. And then Bobby Pierce picked up the finale win and also the shootout title. Probably the biggest drama coming out of this was Jonathan Davenport parking his car in front of Tyler Erb's trailer when Erb kind of jacked him up in one of the heats. Erb definitely didn't need to do that early. I see his point, but at the same time, I don't know if I'd fight Jonathan Davenport. That guy's a pretty large man. I don't know if I'd bark up that tree if I were him. This is, of course, the Wild West Shootouts return to Casa Grande in Arizona, moving from Vado Speedway in New Mexico. Hated to see that, but the racing at Casa Grande was awesome, so I'm glad it's back home. Always love to see a big event come back to where it belongs, and that's exactly what Casa Grande is. It's the home of the Wild West Shootouts, so good shit. Also, World Outlaw Late Models kicked off their season at Volusia. Speed Weeks has already begun. Chris Madden won a couple nights ago. Hudson O'Neal won last night. A little bit of drama between Bobby Pierce and Corey Hedgecock. Bobby just straight dumped Corey after a few aggressive moves, we'll put it that way. I don't know if Bobby's response was what it was or was necessary, but that's what he did. And there's plenty more of Volusia coming up here, so I'm sure we'll see that manifest itself in the coming nights. They'll be racing tonight as well, and I'll have that on the other TV down here.
T-Mac made a run from 11th to 3rd last night too, so I'm very excited to see what he's got tonight.
Yeah, McCready definitely continuing where he left off last year, that Boom Briggs 9. That's some cool shit. I know we're all T-Mac fans in here, at least you and I, Brian. I expect him to win a few this year and probably have maybe even a shot at the title, depending on how things shake out. Speaking of dirt racing being on a big stage, of course, the Chili Bowl was a massive success for Flow, the most streamed event in the history of the platform. High Limit Racing, also a Flow property. Last year, of course, they were on FS1 for the Joker's Jackpot at Eldora. They've expanded their FS1 live presentations to 6 events. They're going to add Eagle, Grandview, Red Cedar, Kokomo, and Vado to the mix this year, which is very cool. All live on FS1. And it sounds like the Cars Tour is going to have more. And also the Lucas Oil Late Models might have a live event or two on FS1, which is huge news. It's very important for dirt racing to be on television. Obviously, Flow works well for them, but for them to be on cable and pull the numbers they did last year, that's fucking awesome. And hopefully they don't have any long yellows, and hot dog intermissions like they do sometimes. Hopefully they don't run these events on Southern time. Also, if you have a racing property or anything at all involved with racing that IHRA hasn't bought yet, you might want to try and hang on to that because they're just buying shit. They just bought the motor
Pretty
mile.
busy.
Yeah, pretty wild shit. Very curious to see how that all shakes out. But hey, I can't complain if somebody with money is going to come in and that gives a shit about it. So
did we talk about them buying Rockingham? Did that happen last time?
It did. Yeah, they bought Rockingham last time we recorded, but they bought
Atlanta
more.
Trackway.
Yep. Hey, it's
You need very rich people that actually give a shit about the sport to invest in it. And
it's true, but it's a lot. They are doing, as far as I'm concerned, way too much all at once. So I'm not hoping this all.
I did read an article.
As a man that lost $2 on the slots this weekend and was nervous about it, it seems like a lot.
I did read an interview from the guy, and he said that he is just, a racing fan, and he has so much money that he doesn't know what to do with it, so why not invest it in something he loves? So
I understand that. I'd be in the same boat. I guess it's just a matter of is it actually going to all work? Because trust me, if I had millions of dollars I had nothing to do with, I'd buy something like a racetrack. Would I buy 20 racetracks? Probably not. But it's.
Yeah, well, he's doing some big work with Tesla and all that, so there's a lot of money in there. So we'll see. Hopefully it works out. But again, if someone's going to write the big checks, God bless them. Which unfortunately Hulk Hogan can't do anymore because the World of Outlaw Dirt Late Models are now sponsored by Dirt Vision this year. So. Yes. It is what it is. But that's it for the Short Track Septic Tank. Thanks for taking the ride with us. And I know this is probably the end of the show, but we'll go ahead and flush it down anyway because we can't leave it festering for the entirety of this snowstorm. That's gross.
So being that this would probably be our return to a regular schedule, I mean, it'll be a little over a week till the next time we talk to you, but who knows what's going to happen at Bowman Gray next weekend. Maybe we'll have a race to talk about when we return, but we will have a video of the week to talk about. And I'm going to start off with a very nice, easy video for all of us to watch. We're going to watch the 1990 Busch Clash. It's only 37 minutes with commercials because I think this was still in the era where some of these races were tape delayed, not actually live, so it's not an incredibly long broadcast, but just something that kind of eases back in.
It's not a remake with like Legos or anything like that, is it?
I mean, so. To talk about the upcoming season, I've gotten into a new genre of videos, and
careful, Brian.
We'll probably end up watching a few NASCAR card box break videos because I've found some channels that are just very funny and ridiculous and weird when it comes to just people opening up cards. So we'll probably sprinkle a couple of those in throughout the season. But we'll wait. We'll wait to get at least till we get our rhythm back in before I start really pissing you guys off with.
Before you start, scaring off our listeners.
Yes. Like I said, we'll be back after Bowman Gray, I guess. So
if it happens,
if it happens. So we'll be talking to you again. Season's about to start, thankfully, so we'll have shit to talk about. So.
Yeah, season 4 of the podcast. Again, I can't believe we've made it this far.
Yep. Cool. So as always, you can follow us on Instagram at meetmeatapplebees and follow us on YouTube also. And like I said, Twitter is no longer really active for many, many reasons.
Thank God.
But I am Speedway Screens on all the things. Still speedwaytsj.etsy.com, and you can still save 15% off with MMA Applebees at checkout.
Still Snake Mountain _True Love. I don't have anything to share because I'm about to probably not have power for a week, so I won't be on my phone.
Yep.
Maybe I'll be at Bowman Gray. Maybe I won't. Probably won't if it's 12 degrees outside.
Yeah, that's fair.
We'll see.
All right. Rob Motes _unofficial on Instagram. My band's called These Wild Plains. Just got the masters back for the new Charlie Marie record. That shit is awesome. Very proud to be a part of that. And you'll be hearing some of that within the next couple months here, and there'll be shows and all that good stuff. And yeah, well, you'll hear about it here. Also, I just got an HBO Max account for the first time. And I meant to say this earlier in the show, but before we close it out, do yourself a favor and watch The Lionheart, the Dan Weldon documentary. That is required viewing for anyone who has any interest in racing at all. It's incredible. I don't want to get too into it. Obviously, if you listen to this, you probably know who Dan Weldon was. And you probably also know that his sons are racing go-karts. This film is about that. It's one of the best racing documentaries I've ever seen in my life. And it's... if you look, you get some crying to get done. This is a good way to open that up. And also, one quick shout out before we shut it down again to Kyle Armstrong for facilitating this weekend at the Chili Bowl for me. That was fucking awesome. I got to experience some stuff I never thought I would. It was just a great time in general, and anytime I get to see the homies out there, particularly Kyle. I met him through playing music, so it's kind of wild to be able to parlay that into experiencing events like the Chili Bowl with people like Kyle. That's not something I ever would have thought would have come to fruition. So thank you so much for hooking it up, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. And safe travels down to Florida, bud, because you're gonna fucking need it with all this ice. And
I want to stay down there for a while.
Yeah, just stay in Florida as long as you can, bud.
It's a nice 70 degrees.
And you as well, True Love. I hope everything shakes out all right for you. We're just getting snow up here, but I know the ice is the scary shit, so hopefully you make out okay.
Maybe I'll see you on the other side.
Yep.
Cool. All right, folks. Well, with that, thank you for the check is here. Thanks for joining us again in Applebee's, and we will talk to y'all in about a week.